call this meeting of the County Commissioners to order. Please join us for the pledge. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. Good to see you this afternoon. We'll begin with the minutes from our May 8th meeting. We've had a chance to look them over. Is there any additions or corrections?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale to approve minutes of the May 8th meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. First thing we're going to do on our agenda today is to open, have a bid opening for our 2024 community crossings repaving projects. And we have 5 bid packets here. We'll open up and record these things and then hand them off to Jay. Will hand these things off to you and Bill. You guys take a look at them and come back and give us a recommendation. Or is anyone here from Butler Fairmont?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can take them and we'll review them and then put a letter of recommendation together. I have bid closure list here if you'd like to record on.
I was expecting Bruce Spires to be
Well,
here. That's the reason
yes, I'm a sad replacement for Bruce.
Well, you'll do just fine.
All right, thank you.
Instead of giving them then to these other fellows, we'll give them to you. First bid is from All Star Paving Incorporated of Seymour, Indiana. Total cost of the project bid is $1,868,655.80. Second bid is from DC Construction Services of Pendleton, Indiana. Total cost of the project bid is $2,256,994. Next bid packet is from Dave O'Mara Incorporated, North Vernon, Indiana. Total cost of the project bid is $1,643,561. Next bid is from Milestone Contractors, Richmond, Indiana. Total project cost bid is $1,656,440. The last bid is from Paul H. Rowe Company Incorporated, Aurora, Indiana. Total project bid, $1,779,921. Now you, sir, you're taking Bruce Spires' place today?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Could you give us your name for the record?
Ben Zobrist.
Ben Zobrist?
Zobrist, Z-O-B-E-R-I-S-T.
Ben, we're going to pass these off to your care, and you know what to do with them. Come back and give us a recommendation.
We'll put a recommendation letter together and a bid tab so you can see all the bidders and their unit prices.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in today.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let's give me a motion to accept the bids into consideration, and we'll make a decision pending recommendation from Butler Fairman this evening. Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to take the 5 bids into consideration and hold them over in lieu of recommendation from Butler Fairman this evening. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. 3 ayes, Jane. Okay, first up today is Jeff Coleman. Jeff, you got a 144 request?
Yes. This will be my annual hiring of our reassessment clerk, a part-time position in the assessor's office. And I'm asking today if you give me permission to hire Carmen Parrish. That's Carmen with a K. She's from Connersville, graduate of CHS, and I think she'll do a really good job.
Says Carmen Paris.
Parrish, P-R-R-I-S-H.
Okay. And this is a part-time position, right?
Part-time position, yes.
Move to accept the Carmen Parish part-time.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve the 144 request for the county assessor's office for the hire of Carmen Parrish, a part-time reassessment clerk.
That's correct.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Gene.
All right, thank you very
Need
much.
anything else, Jeff?
That's it. We're good.
Okay,
Have a good day.
thanks. Michael King, back there. You've got a couple of projects going, right?
I got 2 things. On the Friday the 2nd, just before the end of the day, I got an email from John Stipe at the state. They are upgrading the firewalls at the state that handle the encryptions and firewall for IDAX and other projects up there, and that's what kind of the connection to IDAX at 911, which means that our connection has to be improved. because our current firewall at CPD 911 cannot handle the encryptions over there. So we have to up our, which was already a project I was intending to do at the end of in the next budget year. Obviously, I have to do it faster now. So that's the quotes that are in front of you there. The quote that I want to go ahead and get approved is the one from Endeavor IT. Their total on their quote was $6,300 for the equipment and the licenses. It's possible that from the other vendors, I might be able to get some of the equipment cheaper. If that's the case, I'm going to obviously go with the other vendors, but I'm going to get the approval for the $6,300 because if that's the best option. I'm not sure hardware-wise that as far as exact pieces and licenses, I'm going to make sure we get the right thing in there. IT company that we worked for, they were the VIA that put the stuff in for 10 years ago when we had CPD over there in 911 and jail. That's who we were contracting with for the assistance with Spillman and the network over there and the firewalls and stuff. Then they became ITRW, and now it's Endeavor is who bought them. So they have all the settings, they have all the history, all the records of the history of 911 and all the sales and assist calls that we've had over the years. So they know all the history of the network over there. So they're not unlike another company that we might call going in blind. They know everything that's gone on over there as far as problems we've had and issues that we've had fixed. So they know where all the skeletons are buried, so to speak. So this is what they've recommended. But if it's just a straight piece of equipment, I might be able to get cheaper from a couple of the other vendors. But I've been going back and forth for the last week trying to get the quotes straightened out, trying to get information from Cisco. And I'm not a Cisco expert by any means, trying to read their data sheets and to get straight answers from them. I'm confused on reading this stuff, so I know you're going to be confused on it. I mean, I sat reading a website for them yesterday for 2 hours, and after I got done, I thought I was reading something that Jeff would probably understand from one of his legal briefs. I was just boggled and confused on what they were trying to tell me in this little sheet, because it was all just like a complete runaround legalese kind of sheet of terms and jargon that really didn't tell you much of anything, brought you back to the beginning. So, so I do have it in my budget. And then the next page, page 3 is the estimate on the labor to move the existing rules, passwords, all the settings from the current firewalls at 911 and the jail over to the new ones. So that should theoretically mean that it should be pretty much a straight move from the existing stuff over to the current machine, the new machines, and hopefully without too many problems. So they're estimating $2,700 for labor, 15 hours at $180 each for each hour. It may be less than that. Like I said, the rules are already built into the current firewalls, and it may just be a simple matter of sliding them from one to the other, so it may be much less. It may not be as much of an issue, but they've estimated 15 hours.
15 hours?
So, because we're moving from firewalls that are 8 years old to brand new ones. So the software inside those firewalls is obviously much higher version, has changed in 8 years, so there will be adjustments that have to be made. But theoretically, it should be a much simpler process than starting from scratch. So.
I would hope so, for sure.
But I have both of those in my budget, for the labor and for the hardware and the software.
Okay, what is the final total sum on all of this, Michael?
The total sum as of the moment, it's $6,700 or $6,300 for the hardware and the licenses for the hardware stuff. and then $2,700 for the estimated labor. And like I said, and that's a 3-year license that they've quoted on the licensing on the software there. And the reason I got those quotes handed into you so late is I was actually waiting for, I had them working on more quotes. We were hoping to get a couple more in the last minute where they were making some adjustments or trying to get some more information, but they didn't get in there. So, Cisco running slow.
Well, it's a shame we have to spend this kind of money on for this kind of stuff, just to protect ourselves from hackers, but we know we have to do it or we're out of business.
It's actually cheaper than what I had anticipated. I actually anticipated it being $6,000 for each building when I was estimating it last year. And that was just the hardware itself. So it was actually cheaper than I was expecting.
Well, okay, what's your pleasure?
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve for this upgrade with the total being $9,000, with the understanding, as Michael said, he may find some vendors that can do some of this cheaper on that $6,300. That was the top amount, but the total was $9,000, and that includes that 3-year license part on the software. So I think it's good.
Second.
We have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale, to approve the quoted amounts for IT departments, upgrade firewall protection. The total amount $9,000. Any further question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, any? I hope this works for a while.
The estimated life on those is, 4 to 7 years, depending upon what the prevailing conditions are. So we had the last one's been working for, I think, 8 years at CPD, at the 911 CPD rack. I think the one we had to have one replaced here, the hardware part of it, at jail side, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But we had the same model we replaced it with because it actually went bad. The hardware went bad. But since it was the same model, we just imported the programming from one to the other, so there wasn't any real labor involved. So yeah, they last for a while. There's no moving parts other than a little fan in them. You can replace the fan, but they're not really anything to them. So.
When would you anticipate having all this done?
Well, I've got to find out from the vendor what their schedule's like, and I've got to find out what the supply line's like, so, and then find out which then has the cheapest. So I'm hoping it's as fast as possible, though, because of what's going on. Then we've also got the anticipated Spillman upgrade. The new server on the 10th is what the plan still is, as far as we know. So it's kind of like, do we do it before that, or do we do it after that? That's kind of where we're at. So. And then I've got the 144 to hire a part-time person for Jared Snitker to replace Mike.
If this is your recommendation, I certainly have no alternative for you.
Well, I've not really had anybody else I couldn't find anybody else that I kind of talked to people and didn't really hear anything yet from anybody else. And at $15 an hour, I don't really anticipate anybody really jumping in it, compared to some of the other IT positions that are around.
Yeah.
Not that I've really seen anybody advertising for a whole lot of IT positions in the area, but
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve the 144 request for IT department with a hire of Jared Schnittker?
Schnittker? It's Schnittker.
Schnittker.
He was
Okay.
a former employee of mine, so I highly recommend him.
Okay, that's good to know. Any further question? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hope he works out well for you, Michael.
He seemed like he was eager and seemed like he'd be good at the problem-solving side. We'll see how well he does with actually problem-solving on computers. So
Okay,
that's all we can do. Take it one day at a time, right?
yeah. EMA Director Wade Walling. Wade, do you have anything?
I just have some updates I wanted to hand out to you all. To kind of go over just a couple of things. I had to miss the last meeting because of the storms. Jane, I actually remembered to print you off your own entire copy this time. I always forget her whenever I'm printing stuff off. So on May 7th, everybody knows that we had severe weather. We had an actual confirmed EF1 touchdown in northern Fayette County around 900 north, and it had a 2.9 mile track towards Milton. Really the only damage that was found there was a few trees that were broke over, so nothing major came of that. We also had wind damage on South Morris Road in southeastern Fayette County, where the wind took a guy's roof and pretty much took most of it off. I've included some pictures in your packet and the damage assessment I did. The reason I bring this up is I'm going to have to get a damage assessment form put on our website, so when we have major storms and people have damage, they can report that damage, and then I can go out and do an assessment, assign a cost to it. Without assigning a cost to it through a damage assessment, we'll never meet a threshold that FEMA sets for us to get any reimbursement back should we have a major storm and get a lot of damage. So part of this will be campaigning for people to understand, hey, it's okay to report your storm damage through the Emergency Management Office, because that data we collect will start compiling and give us an idea, and then we can start trending what the data looks like on severe weather. Typically, we don't get a lot of severe weather because we're somewhat in a bowl here in Connersville. Most of it stays above the hill, but we do get tornadoes. And then Rush County had one touchdown right at the county line near Orange, and it was headed straight for Columbia. I was out there that night on 450 kind of watching the skies. I could see the rotation. So what I did was call Chad Groning in Everton, said, hey, this is coming towards you. So he had his guys on station and standby. But the first half of this packet that I give you is just kind of an update on the storm damage. I was asked by Franklin County EMA Director Amy Lindsay to come over and help Franklin County do their damage assessments because they got hit really hard. And I've included a few pictures there. I even posted some on my Facebook page of the damage that happened in Franklin County. It was pretty significant. An NDOT facility was completely destroyed on 101, and it picked a dumpster up from their parking lot and threw it about 3,000 feet into a neighbor's house and crashed her front porch down. And some of the pictures you can see the dumpster laying up against the house. It was a pretty significant storm. So, but that's just an update on the storms on May 7th. I'll be working with Michael at IT to get some damage assessment forms put on our website on the emergency management page. The other thing I wanted to briefly discuss with you, and I won't take up a lot of your time, I typed all this out so you guys can take it and read it whenever you want. And if you have questions, you can always reach back out to me. But currently I'm working on a 2024 SHSP grant, a State Homeland Security grant, to get some equipment. I'm also trying to upgrade our CAD at 911 with rapid notifications, which will allow first responders to receive alerts on an iPad or they're called mobile data terminals, but it could be an iPhone, it could be a smartphone or some kind of tablet. But it'll allow us to get used to the mapping feature in Spillman. So I'm asking for that funding through the grant, as well as for a 1-ton pickup truck to haul our incident command trailer, which we should be getting close to getting. They said by the end of the summer. So I'm excited to have that, and if we have a truck that can actually haul it around, including equipment, generators, and supplies, that'll be just peachy with me. Because I really don't want to try to pull a big trailer with the truck I'm currently in. It's got 139,000 miles on it, and it's in good shape for what it is. It's just not built to haul that much weight, and with the cap that's on it, it's a struggle. So with this SHSP grant, sorry, my phone's going to go off here. There's 2 grants within the same one. One's called National Priority Grant, and that's what FEMA, Department of Homeland Security, and IDHS recommends that we go by. So this year, for our national priority, again, I want to do some updates to the security cameras here at the courthouse. The current cameras that we have are from a brand that was made in China, which is a no-go with the federal government. So they really don't want us having those. So I picked that specifically because I think they'll really fund that. And then updating, working with Michael on our IT and cybersecurity. I've got a company that's actually going through, and I gave them some map layouts of the building. We're talking about door access and getting the courthouse a little more secured, so people can't just walk in here with a gun and go to any room they want. We're nowhere near knowing what that looks like yet. I'm waiting for them to come back with me. Actually, I'm meeting with him tomorrow on that. That's the kind of things that I'm looking for, as well as getting some AEDs and some first aid kits for the courthouse and the annex. And then on our enduring need, which is the second portion of that grant, that's where I'm working on the truck and getting a few other items, including 2 drones, one for the city police and one for the sheriff's department. They're the same drone. I'm just trying to buy 2 of them. That way we have them in the event we ever need it for search or rescue or things like that. So that's the grants that I'm working on right now. I'm also working on the Community Foundation grant for their larger one, and that one will be for some equipment for the volunteer fire departments. Their brush packs that they throw on their back and walk to the wood line to put out small brush fires, things like that, where they don't need a truck. They need those, as well as a few other minor tools like V-struts for auto extrication, stuff like that. So I'm going to ask the Community Foundation to support that grant. And then we were just awarded a Duke Energy grant for $4,500. Part of that funding will go to the Sheriff's Department, to their SWAT officers, to make sure they have the required equipment they need, such as a ballistic helmet, some communications gear, things like that. And the rest of it will go to emergency management for my volunteers to buy tools and equipment for them. And then I'm going to briefly mention the 2 projects and then let you guys go back to your normally scheduled meeting. I asked John Clerk today, I had a meeting with him to kind of head a project called Loud and Clear, which would be installing 5 tornado sirens throughout the county and the city. I've got 2 quotes from 2 different vendors on what it would cost to purchase them and have them installed. We're looking at $160,000 to $175,000 to have 5 of those installed in our county. So I asked John to look at different ways to fund that, whether it's through community events, donations, however, but I asked him to put a team together to try to see if we can't work that out. I'm getting a lot of community feedback through Facebook and talking to people. They really like the siren. They want more of them. They want them where they live. I think John would be a great guy to kind of head that project, and it's going to be a long-term project. It's not something we're going to accomplish overnight. But I wanted to make you aware that we're working on that. And then finally, during one of our 911 board meetings with Kelly, we had a DNR officer come in and talk to us about a project of doing river mile markers. So we don't have those in Fayette County. Franklin County does. But I spent some time mapping out the mile markers, and in your packet you'll see them as you go through it. We have 18.4 miles of river from the top of our county line to the southern portion of our county line for Whitewater River. So I don't think getting 18 to 25 highly reflective signs put on poles up near the river, on the river banks all down through. I think we can do that with community support, maybe some donations, maybe some business partners might want to adopt a portion of the river. I actually believe I put President Strong's name on one of the mile markers so he would feel obliged to adopt it. I was just grasping for names. You're not held accountable to it.
I saw that. I figured he was fishing some sort of angle.
But I've reached out to Indiana Department of Corrections. They make signs. I used to have them make signs for the State Fire Academy. They're very reasonable. They have inmates make them and turn around and sell them. So I'm kind of waiting on a quote from them. But it shouldn't be too expensive to do this project. I know my team and several firefighters and others who want to volunteer to go help install them. So that's what I'm working on.
Okay. Well, while you're resting, we'll try to find something else.
Would you? Yeah. Would you? That's why I need one more project.
Okay.
How long did I go, Zach?
Long enough. Thanks, Wade. Sheriff, let me go on over here. Jay Halveland, do you have anything to report for Highway Department?
I figured you'd make me go last.
I've got a email. You want to pass that down to him? You got it. On the only guy that responded about the chip seal was that Chris Oakes. I think you talked to him, Tracy. And he says till after 1st of June he won't know what's going to happen because he might be busy and he can't do it, and he might have room to slide in somewhere there. Nobody else has responded to the calls, so I don't know whether they're waiting to see what their business is going to like and then going to call or what.
He's in Henry County, but I can't remember the name of the town. He told me where he's
I have the name of the company where he's right there, but I'm not sure where he's from.
Yeah, Pavement Solutions.
He's asking for the 1st of June.
Yeah. He said he'll know by the 1st of June what his bids are going to be like.
Well, that's going to be here right
Real
away.
quick.
We're
Yeah.
almost there now.
Yeah.
We also got a call from Southeastern Equipment. They're the ones that designed the tanks and everything for the back of the spirit trucks. They'll be down here Thursday to work out the design for a new truck. I think Tracy asked him about getting a quote on it, so then he'll get with Stoops and they'll do the chassis. They'll figure out what they need, what he needs to carry the tank that he's going to put on it and everything, and support the front of all that.
For which truck?
Distributor truck.
Oh, distributor truck.
Yeah, she asked him about a quote for a distributor truck.
Okay. Well,
They're responding to it. I haven't heard anything else out of the other stuff, so we something else I was going to say. we've got 5 cans left to put in, and we haven't had any luck getting them located. They've been on the, we called them in 2 weeks ago to get them located, and they keep putting us off. But they're doing all that fiber optic up there in around Harrisburg, and I don't know if that's slowing them down or what. It says all we got left to do on that road is 5, right in the middle. And they're close, we can get them, if we get free, if the weather lets us do it and they locate them, we can get them done pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of who gets there first, the weather or the locators.
Well, I know the locators are covered up right now. They're really good.
Yeah, they had 3 trucks up there working yesterday up in there. I thought maybe they'd get it while they was up there, but they didn't, so.
Yeah. Spectrum is under a deadline to have this fiber optic cable
Well, I'll bet.
buried here, and they're really pushing, trying to get it all on the ground, and they'll come back and do hookups and such later. But they're, and this is going to be a continuing thing for the next 2 or 3 years, I think.
I think they still have to bid out for up in Posey and that up in there, don't they?
Yeah, there's
They haven't done it yet.
There's going to be a new round
Yeah.
of funding coming.
I've had the brush cutter out because we've been trimming back some of the stuff he trimmed last year.
Yeah.
It just got thicker and all get out. He's back there knocking it back again. But I had him go down to Mayhem Park and trim that out so you can see down in there better and see when they're starting to dump trash from the road and you see somebody making a mess. And he did a pretty good job down there. He opened it up real good.
Yeah, it looks better.
Yeah. But he's up north around Bentonville up in there, that getting some of those up in there. And he'll work on south. And I've got the mower guy out. He chucks out mowing. He's over in around 150 south. He's working down in there. He's done the other side. He's going to move on north and keep going.
Yeah, I've seen where he's been a lot of places.
He makes a mess. There's only nothing you can do about it. When he gets so tall, it's going to make a mess. When we've been putting cans in, when we've been trying to patch, when you got our chip spray patchers out, trying to use them. We've done a couple of roads. We did Urban Drive solid down through there because he was complaining about the way it looked, so we did it solid. Jerry went down today and worked on a ditch down on one side of it, so it's done. So that'll make him happy down there.
Okay, how did that Urban Drive turn out? How does Urban Drive look now?
It looks better than what it did because it wasn't really broke up, but it looked like it was coming apart. So they put a layer all the way through it. They went down there and backed across the little bridge, sprayed it solid all the way out.
Okay.
Took all day, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, that's a pretty steep hill there, and it washes real easily.
And we're going to continue patching until we can get the rest of putting cans put in. And I'll go check that one out there in Pleasant View, a big tanker out there, and let them blow it out. We'll see what happens. Because we're supposed to have some rain coming. Supposed to rain tonight, and let up in the morning, and come back, what, Thursday?
Tomorrow
Is it? Yeah. Yeah. I can't think of anything else right offhand.
I did have one guy call me and ask if, when you're trimming the brush back, if they could go higher. They're still getting into the farm equipment.
It's still getting into it? I'll say something to him. He was working up there on 350 where that wire hangs in them trees up there, and he's trying not to get into it. I don't understand that, but they got up there with the bucket truck and trimmed up the trees holding the wire down. As it went off like a slingshot when they got it loose. So hopefully he'll be able to trim it back better. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody got anything else for Jay?
You said those guys are coming Thursday, Southeastern?
Yeah, he didn't say what time, but probably in the afternoon.
Will you let me know since I
Yeah.
talked to them?
We
Okay.
brought the old distributor truck up and put it in the garage so we can go through and look at the tank and all that stuff. They said the mice have eat that thing up down in that building. You could smell it in it when they got into it to move it.
That's what mice do.
Yep, they like that coating on them wires.
Them and squirrels.
Yep.
The Irish Spring soap in it.
Yeah.
Well, we did it.
Irish Spring.
Yep. I didn't have any in my truck this past winter.
That's good, because they can make them stink real good.
Okay, thanks, Jay. Sheriff Jones, do you have anything you need to talk to us about?
Yeah, just real quick.
You're never real.
I need to get permission to ask for, we gotta replace our bulletproof vest. Every 5 years, the Kevlar breaks down, I guess, that's what they tell us. So we have to get new ones. We got 19 that need to be replaced. So there's a grant that Jolissa will put in for, and it's a 50-50 grant. So we'll end up having to pay for half of it. I got money in my firearms budget and some other different budgets that I can take money out of to pay for this. But it's going to be a total of, I don't know, probably for us, maybe $9,000 that we'll have to come up with. Like I said, I got it in my firearms budget. But I just need permission to have Jolissa start the grant process.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to give the sheriff permission to have Jolissa Bates apply for, what kind of grant is it?
Bulletproof vest.
Bulletproof vest grant? Is it through DOC or?
No, it's federal government grant. I'm not sure who it's through.
Federal grant. Any further questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Also, just so you guys know, I promoted Connor Greenwell. He was the jail commander over there. We promoted him to fill David Jones. He left us in January. He went to the city police. We had an open deputy position, and he was the one that the merit board selected. So he's started last week as a deputy. He's out serving papers right now. We'll soon go through his 40-hour pre-basic, and then we're hoping to get him in the academy, I think, in about 3.5 months. So he was promoted.
Okay. So you lost one to the city police department?
Yeah, they stole him.
See, the city saves money by doing that.
Not still him.
Uh,
Coach anybody.
Yeah, they got him, but it worked out. Connor's going to be a good hire. He's a good kid. And then also, I think I emailed you guys about the peddlers ordinance that the city has. About 3 weeks ago, we had tons of issues with a guy supposedly dressed like Willy Wonka that was allegedly just going in people's houses. I don't think that happened, but it is odd for county residents to get people to come to their house and just knock on the door, so it usually doesn't turn out good. And we get this about 3 or 4 times a year. You'll get a curvy salesman or somebody selling books. There was a time where Robbie Fee got called down south, I think in one day 4 times, to go deal with these people because they go to a house, knock, and people aren't used to that, and the guy looked a little off and is pushy, he's pushy, and they tell him to leave. He leaves, they call the police for us to go check on him. And somebody's going to get hurt. It's worked out pretty good for the city, the mayor could probably tell you. There's a process that people have to go through before they can go out and start soliciting to county residents. The city doesn't have this happen a lot now, and we're hoping that if you guys want, I can adjust that to what the county's needs are and get with Jeff here and make sure it's okay. I'm sure he's already seen that because the city's passed it already. But I just think it's a good idea because somebody's going to end up getting hurt. Somebody comes knocking on the door. With Facebook and social media, there's, like I said, rumors going around that this guy just walked into a house and was going after somebody's kids. That didn't happen to our knowledge. But as soon as that rumor gets started, something bad could happen. So if you guys want, I can work that to the county's liking, and we can get that started.
Think we should.
No. I'll second that.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, well, thanks, Sheriff, for stopping in.
All right.
County Surveyor, Bill Mackey. Okay. I understand between you and Jay. Now, let's address this survey that you just gave us today on County Road 525 West. Does this settle the dispute out there or not?
Well, I don't know, surveyor just finished it Friday. So I don't know what's going on. He just sent me his statement yesterday.
Okay, so according to this survey that this fellow has just completed, the location of that road does not change. Am I reading that right?
Yep.
Okay, so the one guy that has been blocking the egress for the other guy has been at fault. Is that a fair assumption?
That's what was happening. I don't know if it's still
I don't know
happening.
if it's still happening or not, I don't know.
Them two just can't get along.
Well,
That's a lot of it.
obviously. Now, has either one of them seen this?
No, like I said, I just got it yesterday.
You just got it yesterday.
I gave Jay a copy to give to one. I don't know if the other kid has an email. Do you know if he has an email? He can email him a copy. I don't know. The one that's in Rose County, the south end.
I can get him a copy.
Okay. But the surveyor said he was out there, not the one from Rush County, the one in the house, and said he was okay that day. I mean, he didn't say much or anything, so I don't know, maybe since it's officially being done, maybe he'll inform, I don't know.
And do we have the road going all the way out to where it shows on the, like, do we have gravel all the way out on the road? 'Cause that was
Oh, you
part
know,
of
to
it,
the end,
to where the road is surveyed.
looks like he shows a little bit going down there, not as to the end. I mean, is there gravel down to that barn like he shows a little bit?
There's gravel down to where the mark was.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is the where the mark.
Well, when
I
I
have to go out and
marked,
look at it.
yeah, well, I marked it about at the end of the barn last fall, so if that's what you was looking at, that's looked like
Yeah,
he came up.
that's pretty close.
That's where he came up, pretty much south end of that barn.
So that was part of the confusion. The guy, the road didn't go all the way out, so he didn't know any better than to be parking there, so. If that's
Did you
fixed.
have signposts up there when you parked it?
Not last fall.
Okay.
So yeah, we talked about that too, an end of road sign down there.
Candy County Road or whatever. Did you ever put up an Indy County Road?
We had to put one up, yeah, we put
Okay.
one up when we settled this, we
Yeah.
had to pull back out of the ground.
Yeah, so now, yeah.
Tracy, Tracy, you know at least one of those residents out there, don't you? So you're gonna see that he gets a copy of this? Okay. Let's hope that this ends that dispute.
Be good.
County Attorney, do you have anything?
I don't, except for, just to clarify, the ordinance that the sheriff proposed, are you guys wanting to proceed with that, or?
I
Yes.
guess we'll talk it
Just-
over.
okay, we're not ready
I
yet.
don't know, there's a lot there.
A lot
I don't
there.
know.
If you have any questions about what it would mean or what the impact would be, let me know.
Yeah. I know on at least one occasion I did entertain a Kirby sweeper salesman. I've never forgotten that. I didn't buy a sweeper though.
You don't own a Kirby sweeper?
No, I don't. I don't know, you know, everybody's gotta make a living somehow, you know. Mayor, you got any experience with all this?
Yeah, I can address that. Times are different now. I grew up in sales. I mean, door to door. I've done a ton of door to door. Things are just different now. Like Zach said, with social media. But the real issue we had is sometimes you go door to door, the people there are not the best people in the world. If they're a good salesman, they'll come in, they'll do the background checks. That's really the key behind all those background checks. We've only had one incident since that ordinance has been put in place, and it worked like it was exactly supposed to. They set up shop. We confronted them about it, so they had to fill out the proper paperwork and do the application process.
they came to City Hall until they saw I did a background check, and then they just turned real ugly real fast. And they fought us pretty hard. They didn't want to leave. They started claiming constitutional rights and those things. And after we handed them 2 or 3 days of fines, they decided to pack up and leave. And we did our kind of our own background check a little bit, just a little bit of research, and they were not good people. So it worked for that reason. I'm still passionate about door-to-door sales. It's hard. It's hard work. It is to make a living, but not everybody doing that is the people you want going door to door. And so to protect the citizens, protect everyone, here's a process. If you're good and you qualify, go at it, because we have to wear a badge, you have to wear all kinds of things. I did have one come to my house on a little hoverboard thingamajigger. I saw him talking to my wife and I pulled in. So I just asked her what it was. She said, selling windows. And I went to him, I said, where's your badge? Well, it's in my car, I left it. Where's your car? 3 miles away. I go, no, you didn't get the permit. It's supposed to be around your neck. And they left. So if they're legitimate, have at it. They can sell all they want, but they got to follow the process. So I was a little hesitant when we first did it. Jeff and I know we worked a long time on getting the language right, because there's 3 different, I forget the 3. There's transient dealer, there's number 3 in there. There's 3 different types of dealers in there. That we had to match state IC code, because ours, we actually had an ordinance that was not correct. It was written, I don't know how many years ago, but it was not correct, so we corrected it. It has been very beneficial, I will say that. And those who are truly doing good, legitimate business won't have a problem with it. So I'll leave it at that.
Now, if you want to do this all over again, would you include also, say, politicians soliciting votes door to door?
So there's exemptions there if you read it. So
It takes care of like religious components and things like that.
yeah, it's people doing business going door to door. So there's exemptions for like Girl Scouts and so, stuff. There's all kinds of exemptions for stuff like that. But it's outside people coming into our community, and most of the time not most of the time. Sometimes they're taking advantage of our community, and so this really protects our community from that. It's not to punish everyone going door to door, but there's some exceptions in there, and you can read through it and see. Garage sales, stuff like that, you're fine with.
I know I personally received multiple calls of people who had that Willy Wonka in our area, and it even gave me a little bit of a scare myself. So I know they're expecting us. They would like this.
It's worked very well for us. We spent a lot of time, a lot of thought. We wrote that. I don't remember how many times we rewrote it.
Don't
It
you
was
need
a bunch.
Facebook? You need Facebook.
No, I do
So
not
you-
need
So
Facebook.
you can keep up with,
It's like the newspaper.
yes.
You can have my share of Facebook. So Willy Wonka was down in your neighborhood?
A guy dressed like Willy Wonka who was waving a flag, and he was very, just descriptive, was creepy. And I know some elderly people who were fearful and locked their doors, and he spoke to them through a screen and tried to get them to open their door. He was really forceful in his communication with them, and wouldn't go away even after they said no, they're not interested in what he's trying to sell. I received a lot of credible people who called me about it, because that was a road over from me.
He's lucky he didn't get hurt.
Well, that's what the sheriff was alluding to, because then there was also a post made that someone shared that he actually entered a home and there was children, and so then that put him in danger of people who have, if you get on my property and I've got a sign no trespassing,
Yeah.
I think you're coming to do something you're not supposed to do, like I just read on Facebook. Might be your last day. I'm just saying it would protect them as well. I don't see this as anything against a
It's worked well for
salesperson.
us. It's simple as go get a permit, do the background check. If you're not willing to do that, go on.
Yeah. It
How long has
makes
the city's ordinance been in effect?
Couple of years.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple of years.
We had to adjust the language because some of the descriptions that you would think of as, it's not just the simplest thing. It's kind of like side by sides, that kind of discussion about side by sides, golf carts, farm equipment. What'd you have? You had
There's 3 types in there.
there's transient merchants or dealers is what the description that we are, those are the ones we're focused on that have to come in. And it's not saying they can't do it, it's just saying you gotta come and do these things to do it. Correct. I mean, it's pretty, and you could even add like time, place, and manner restrictions. You could say not after dark. I mean, you could do all kinds of things to make it, you know, I don't think it's a bad thing to have some control over it. Now, you're still gonna have, my concern is, that doesn't get rid of that situation we're talking about, because Mr. Willy Wonka probably is not gonna ever go apply. So you're gonna have to wait until you get a complaint or somebody finds him. It's not like he comes in, he says, we say no, and then he leaves. He's just going to do it without trying to go. So, I mean, but what it does is it gives the sheriff some teeth to
Yeah.
go and stop that.
Because everyone complaining to them, they couldn't really do anything about it.
And one thing, if I remember correctly, we added city parks, like public property. You couldn't do any of that, which would be big for us. We wouldn't want any of our country parks to be, somebody to be peddling stuff or doing stuff we wouldn't want to be done out there. So it's not a bad thing.
Once the community knows they gotta have their permit with them, that helps. Because the first question you ask is, where's your permit? If they don't have it on them, and ours specifies it has to be on them, then they know there's an issue. Most of the time they'll leave after that, or once they call in, it's easier to track down.
So would it be worthwhile to just go ahead and say, let you and the sheriff start working on putting something together?
Well, I'm going to be biased, and the one I worked on already, I'm going to feel pretty good about. So
Well, that's
what I would
fine.
encourage you to do is go through the one you've been given, and you're going to have questions about what you think the impact is or what this means, and we can adjust it. Because there's going to be difference inherently,
Right.
obviously, between the county and the city. There's going to be differences in how we want to regulate things. So.
I had already gone through it. Sheriff sent us this already, so, I mean, I'd already gone through it.
Yeah, I was just gonna go in and take out Connersville and put Fayette County.
Right, he'd already done that
We
one.
could work a little harder on it, I guess.
There's most of it, to be honest with you, most of it is common sense stuff. I don't think you're going to have any. It's not restricting politicians. It's not really restricting religious things. It's for-profit restrictions. Girl Scouts, I think we've set it up where Girl Scouts wouldn't have to come, Boy Scouts wouldn't have to come and get this. Girl Scouts could go and sell cookies. It's for-profit businesses that this is restricting.
My opinion, I think the sheriff's already started working on it a little bit. Let him go ahead and present it at our next meeting. If you've got time, send it to us so we can read it.
Does it have a fine?
Yeah.
So if it has fines, we need to do a public hearing. So what you could do today is just decide to advertise for a public hearing with it, or you could wait till the next meeting. I mean, I don't know if there's an urgent thing, but just.
We may wait another meeting, we'll have to wait another meeting after that, so we're looking halfway through the summer before we even get this thing back to the table to do something. If I'm thinking right.
Can we just make a public hearing for our June 4th meeting, 10 days, notice, right?
So he needs 10-day notice, and if we want changes to it, we can change it at that meeting. You can approve it with those changes, or you can set it up for the next meeting or anything.
I'll make that motion.
For the public hearing for the June 4th meeting, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to advertise public hearing on the peddler's ordinance at our June 4th meeting. Any further questions?
So, Sheriff, that give you enough time to fine tooth?
Oh, yeah, I'll go through and make the changes that I think need made, and then you guys can make the final determination. But I'll change what I think applies to us.
On a side note, it does exempt like your local deliveries like Snap-on. Okay, they're from out of community, but that's an every week thing, so it exempts all those.
Okay, awesome.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. Okay. Anyone have anything under old business? On new business, we have Donna Schroeder representing Historic Connersville, and she wants to talk to us about the U.S. 250th birthday celebration.
Absolutely. And there is a big word for that. It's called the semi-quincentennial celebration. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, thank you.
Since the mayor's here, I'll save you a stamp. We were contacted, we being Historic Connersville, to be the coordinator and contact with the state for this 250th celebration in 2026. And there are several components to it. They want us to celebrate the history and the heritage. And as time goes on, I'll know more about it and I'll keep you updated. But what we're going to do is form a core group, and we'll send these out, and then we're going to have a meeting in June. And then it will hopefully expand from there. Some of it is going to be, well, the different ethnic groups that came here, for instance. You know, what some of them were specifically different occupations, and so maybe we can do that. Maybe we can talk about, one thing I do want to talk about is the heads of this state committee are a representative from the Daughters of the American Revolution and one from the Sons of the American Revolution. And so they want us to locate, if possible, the graves of what they call true daughters, which is if the father was a Revolutionary War soldier. And I suspect there are a lot of those here in Fayette County that are buried here. Because we have probably 50 Revolutionary War veterans buried in the county. And they're just throughout. Some of them we still haven't located their graves. We know from their wills and their land records that they were buried on their farms. But if somebody owned 160 acres, you know, where is that family cemetery now? So anyway, we've located a lot of those, and this is kind of maybe where the mayor would come in. One of the things they're talking about is a liberty tree, and I haven't asked them yet if we can plant more than one liberty tree. I envision a liberty tree being the state tree, which is the tulip poplar. And we have one Revolutionary War veteran in the city cemetery. That would be your purview if we could plant a tree there. And in the cemeteries that you guys own, where we know for sure there are veterans, if we could plant a tree there. So I'm going to contact them again and see if we can do more than one liberty tree, because I think that's kind of a cool, you know, those tulip poplars live forever, and that would be kind of a cool thing for us to do, that maybe 100 years from now somebody could go out and locate that tree. I think there's some, like in the city cemetery, I think there's some space there by the Veterans Circle, right there in the, I think there's some unused graves there. So anyway, there are a lot of things we can do, and they want us to have a continuing series of events. They want us to do something big next year in July, and then they want us to finish up July the 4th of 2026, and that's it. No more anything in 2026. So anyway, we will be contacting people. I've talked to tourism, and I've talked to the State Board of Accounts. There's money available there to fund the advertisement and all that. But really, the reason I'm here is just to tell you about it and to get your blessing for us to represent the county and city in this celebration.
Okay, so you want the commissioners to recognize HCI as the official coordinator of the 250th
Right.
year celebration.
Yeah,
Okay.
use that big word. Semi-quincentennial celebration.
Semi-quennial centennial celebration.
Whatever you want to call it.
I wonder how many dictionaries they had to go through to come up with that.
I don't know, but I'm excited about this because, you know, this county, well, for instance, the veteran, the patriot who's buried in City Cemetery is John McCormick. And he came here. McCormick's Creek State Park is named for that McCormick family. His son, John Jr., went to Indianapolis, and, well, except it wasn't Indianapolis, it was the state of Indiana then, it was territory, and settled pretty much where the State House is now. And so, and there's McCormick's Creek that runs down through Indianapolis. This county, and as well as Franklin and Dearborn, we're really the birthplace of Indiana, and we're the cradle of civilization here, so we need to really do this upright and celebrate all of our people and all of our history. So.
Well, it's quite an honor that you were asked to represent, the state like that.
I have a feeling that they probably asked in the counties, not every county has a historical society, but they probably asked those entities first, and that makes sense. And also, by the way, if you stop by the museum, it's not a big 250 thing, but we're celebrating the 100th birthday of the McFarland automobile that's in the museum that was built in 1924. So, there are a lot of things we can do in the next couple of years to really make an impact, and I'm sure tourism's going to be on board with that. So,
well, I thought y'all did just an excellent job with the eclipse.
Yeah,
that was
we
really
had a
nice.
lot of good feedback from that.
It was really good.
And we have 5,000 pairs. We didn't gather those, but there was a guy who came to Metamora, and of course we work closely with Metamora, and we'll be part of a region too, I think, in this, as this celebration takes shape here. But there was a guy who came to Metamora just before the eclipse and said to Candy Yurchek, who was kind of heading things up down there, he said, I bought 5,000 pairs of eclipse glasses, and I want to sell them for $3 a pair, and I want you guys to help me. And she was like, we have 750 pairs that we're giving away. We can't sell yours for $3. And he just kind of folded and said, well, here, just take them. So then Candy brought them to us, and now they are going to, there's enough left from the grant that Historic Connersville got for the sunflower seeds to ship those to Utah, where they will be shipped to South America, where there's going to be an eclipse, and they'll be given out free to kids in South America in the fall. So I think that's just cool. I mean, not only are we, did we treat every kid here, but And we did have one kid that we know of that ate his sunflower seeds on the bus. So, but other than that, it went all. So yeah, we were happy with the way that all turned out too.
So I guess we're making a motion to give you the blessing to do this, right? Is that what we need? Okay?
Okay. What's your motion, Tracy?
To give the Historical Connersville Incorporated the right to pursue what they've got here in this letter, which is according to the state celebration of the semi-quincentennial celebration 2026. Did I say it right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. We have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale to, this is an official recognition. Officially recognize Historic Connersville Incorporated as the official local entity to coordinate the semi-quincentennial celebration beginning in 2025 through July 4, 2026, Fayette County. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, you're officially ordained.
Thank you. And we need volunteers, so if you're just not doing anything extra, just come on over.
Yeah, well, there's no way I'll get out of some duty on this.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And we'll be in touch with you. I guess you'll send someone to the meeting. Okay. All right. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Chad might have something.
I want Dale to say that again 3 times real fast.
Do what?
I need you to repeat that. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh. I'd like to see you pronounce that word.
I'm going to try.
Okay, we have a pending ordinance adopting the revised construction standards. We had a joint public hearing on this subject with the city some time back. You remember when that was, Chad?
What's the topic?
Construction
standards. Oh, construction. Yeah, we passed ours last night. It's been a while.
We had a joint public hearing on that
Either
a couple months ago or so.
I'll say February.
Yeah.
Actually, January, February.
Okay. So they want us to adopt this ordinance to make the adoption of the new construction standards, the updated construction standards for the county official.
And on February 5th.
February 5th, okay. I couldn't remember exactly when we'd done that.
And the city did, as the mayor suggested, the city did pass it last night, so upon your action, if you were to do the same, it would become official.
And we didn't, as I recall, we did not have any remonstrance or anything in the public hearing on it.
No, there was not. Did you guys, I think you guys did in your own hearing as well, if I remember right after that meeting, I don't believe there was any remonstrance to it either. It took us about a year to do that. I know Brad was working on it it took quite a while.
Yeah, this has all been probably at least 2 years in the making.
Yeah, and it's pretty old. The standards haven't been updated in a while, and construction standards constantly change, so it wasn't us doing it. We had an engineering firm do it, and we worked with them, so it was done by an actual engineering firm.
I'll move to approve ordinance 2024-03.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve ordinance number 2024-03, an ordinance adopting updated construction standards in the county. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes. care of that. Now, Jolissa reminded me this morning, so I'd reminded her after we had that meeting recently out at Manlove Park with the DNR representative out there. Tracy, you was there. He told us that we do not have to wait until January 2025 to apply for another round of LARA grant funding for the Manlove Lake project. So Jolissa, in order to get a head start on that, she'd like permission to go ahead and apply for the 2025 LARA grant round, like now, you know, during the summer. That way she wouldn't be so rushed about trying to get it in, beat a deadline like we did the first time. So I guess what I'm asking you to do is give permission for Jolissa to apply for another LARA grant round of funding for 2025. And it's a maximum grant award of $100,000.
And if we get that grant, we can put both of them together and do that much more.
We have 2 years to spend that money. It's 2 years after the time of the award, so. And you know, we're waiting right now to hear back from Doug Nussbaum on necessary permitting. He said, I don't think you need a permit for this, but he probably will for that. He's never gotten back with us yet on that. So as soon as, if we don't need a permit to do it, we want to start releasing the water out of that lake right away.
I'll move to approve Jolissa to start working on the 2025 LARA grant.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to authorize Jolissa Bates to reapply for a 2025 LARA grant award for our Manlove Park project. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there any patron concerns? Leroy, you haven't said a word. You got
I'll just
any?
listen.
Okay. That's it, other than claims and payroll. You got anything else?
Move to approve claims and payroll.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve claims and payroll. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Are we supposed to have CASA? There is a settlement.
got a nagging feeling that we're forgetting something, but I don't know what it is yet. I'll probably remember in an hour or two.
One thing I remember that we had asked people interested in sending a letter of interest by the 1st for the next round of opioid settlement money. I've only seen one, I think, that's done that, so just
Yeah.
thought there are people that are interested in that. And also we got a thank you card from a 4-H group.
Yeah, we did. That was from the
It was the Jackson Hot Shots.
Jackson Hot Shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That was nice.
Okay. We forgetting anything, James? Okay.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
A motion by Dale, second by Tracy to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all very much.